12:30.
And then the rains came in buckets. Surprise flooding in the drought-plagued Northeast stops commuters in their tracks. We'll have the latest on Hurricane Dennis and where it may strike the mainland. Allegations that foreign aid to Russia may now be lining the pockets of Yeltsin's inner circle. And dessert to die for. New research says eating light can extend your life.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Good evening. Dan is off tonight. I'm Bob Schieffer. Well, can you believe this weather? 3 big storms still churning out in the Atlantic now. The one called Dennis, just east of the Bahamas, is now a full-fledged hurricane and is on a course that could take it toward the southeastern United States by the weekend. And that's just the part of it. There's been some weird weather all across the middle of the country. And on the West Coast, lightning strikes in drought conditions have set off thousands of acres of wildfires. Then along the East Coast, the problem today was flooding. The biggest mess was in New York City, where a surprise thunderstorm dumped more than 3 inches of rain on the city just before morning rush hour. Instant River shut down some of the heaviest travel thoroughfares. Cars were abandoned, subways shut down, and some commuter trains stalled in up to 4 feet of water. In some places, raw sewage overflowed into the street. Severe thunderstorm watches and flood warnings are still in effect. The East Coast has been plagued by drought, but officials say the rain came too late. Across the country, there were more freaky conditions. A twister ripped through tobacco farms in North Carolina. No injuries there. And in Perrysburg, Ohio, what forecasters call a cold air funnel was caught on this home video. Tornado sirens sounded, but the funnel didn't touch down. In the West, the trouble has been fires set off by lightning. At least 300 wildfires are raging across California, Nevada, Utah, and Idaho. More than 22,000 acres are burning north of Sacramento, California. With drought conditions there, firefighters have been unable to bring the fires under control. And then there are those potential hurricanes building in the Atlantic off the East Coast. So far, just fairly high surf and a nice day along the beaches of North Carolina. But that could change by the weekend. Because our CBS News weather consultant, Brian Norcross, says the thinking now is that Hurricane Dennis will hit somewhere along the southeastern coast.
Bob, we're feeling more confident that the storm is likely headed toward the southeast coast. We see no indication that it's going to get pushed out to sea at this point. Let me show you the satellite picture, and the developments today are these. First of all, Dennis is not moving very much, but we see signs now that it is intensifying. The other thing we see on this picture is a very strong, unusually strong for this time of year, river of air right there, followed by another piece of energy dropping in like this. And this is going to act more or less like a scoop, we think, and pick up Dennis and propel it toward the southeast coast. But all indications are that later in the weekend there is going to be a hurricane approaching the southeast coast, probably the Carolinas or Georgia would be the highest odds right now.
And how powerful do you think this one will be?
Well, we think it's going to be a significant hurricane event. We can see on the satellite picture, let me go back to it just quickly, and what you'll see here is an eye developing right there. That's a sign of strengthening. So our thinking is that at least 100 miles an hour, probably in the 110 to 115 mile an hour range, which does significantly more damage once you get over into that 111 to 120 mile an hour range. There's just a lot more energy in the storm.
Okay, Brian, we'll stay in touch.
Okay.
And many people in Dennis's path know all too well the damage that a hurricane can obviously do, but some of them are beginning to fight back. Byron Pitts now has that part of the story.
Summer vacation on the Carolina and Florida coast today. Well, Hurricane Dennis is still only a worry for the weekend. But for those who have seen the dark side of hurricanes past, real preparation started months ago.
And they protect the windows.
Juan Perez will put up steel shutters if Dennis threatens his home in Homestead, Florida. Homestead was almost wiped off the map by Hurricane Andrew in 1992. A $30 billion disaster that researchers say would have done far less damage if houses had been better constructed. For that reason, Perez and 9 of his neighbors are part of a new experiment. Their homes retrofitted with metal girders and steel beams, sturdy materials designed to withstand hurricane-force winds that can turn small objects into deadly missiles.
Part of the thing with Andrew was also ignorance. You know, a hurricane was coming, and a lot of times people cried wolf so many times. But at this time, I feel that we're better prepared.
Preparations for this latest wave of hurricanes will also include research provided by Clemson University here in South Carolina. Those 33-foot wind towers will be placed in the hurricane's path to measure wind speed.
These we can put up in about 15 minutes.
Civil engineering professor Tim Reinhold says that information will be more accurate than wind estimates in the past.
But we're hoping that as we get a better picture of what the winds and the wind forces really were, that we'll be able to improve our building codes to put the strength where it needs to be and to not force people to put strength where it's not really needed.
Better information, better building materials, all designed to save lives when the next hurricane hits land. Byron Pitts, CBS News, Clemson, South Carolina.
The federal raid yesterday at Miami International Airport may have crippled one drug smuggling ring, but U.S. officials say it won't stop the flow of drugs from South America. They're attacking the problem from the other end now, trying to get the government of Colombia to crack down on drug suppliers. Diana Olick has our report.
As U.S. agents were busting American Airlines employees yesterday for smuggling drugs, the nation's drug czar, General Barry McCaffrey, was in South America, working to stop the flow at its source. U.S. officials have spent the summer warning of a state of emergency in South America, where local governments are unable or unwilling to block the flow of narcotics into the United States. The lush fields of Colombia now provide the world with 80% of its cocaine and America with 75% of its heroin.
I come back from my trip sobered, but certainly not panicked.
Undersecretary of State Thomas Pickering met with Colombia's new president, Andres Pastrana, and offered U.S. funds on one condition. That is that Pastrana first come up with a plan to assure that the money stays in the right hands. But it may not be as simple as writing a check to help the national police destroy the drug farms. The Colombian government has been waging a 36-year war with Marxist rebels, now nearly synonymous with the drug trade.
They reap profits from trafficking, whether they're involved in corruption, cultivation, or actually trafficking into the United States.
Right now, Colombia is a country that's very weak.
And Latin America analyst Peter Hakem says this country of 40 million must first commit to helping itself.
Most of the job has to be done by the Colombians, and they haven't shown an ability or a willingness to really take charge yet.
Colombia currently receives $289 million a year in U.S. aid and is now asking for more. But the administration still wants to wait for Colombia's plan, something to convince Congress and the American people that the war on drugs must be fought in the jungles of Colombia as well as on the streets of America. Diana Olick, CBS News at the State Department.
And still ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, we'll look at the safety of amusement park rides after a summer string of accidents. New research says the less you eat, the longer you'll live. And there's trouble in Surf City, hit by a wave of fires.
When muscle pain comes crashing down on you, when joint pain shakes your world, then it's time for Bengay SPA, the latest in pain relief from Bengay. Bengay SPA with site-penetrating action targets relief right at the site of pain, and it has a light, fresh scent. Bengay SPA with site-penetrating action. Suddenly, it feels like a whole new day.
Based on reactions so far, new banana strawberry Nutri-Grain twist bars seem to be creating quite a stir. Could be the banana, could be the strawberry, but we've got a hunch it's the unique way they're twisted together. That's why we did it. New banana strawberry Nutri-Grain twist bars. A twist you can't resist.
Right now, LensCrafters is having an end-of-summer sun sale. You can get a complete pair of prescription sunglasses for only $99 in your choice of hundreds of the latest styles. The end-of-summer sun sale. On now at LensCrafters. Hurry, sale ends soon.
I should have used Preparation H.
Cool it fast. Introducing Preparation H Cooling Gel. Cools on contact for fast relief. New Preparation H Cooling Gel cools on contact.
Attorney General Janet Reno addressed revelations today that federal agents did fire incendiary devices on the final day of the Branch Davidian siege at Waco, despite years of government denials. Reno vowed to get to the bottom of it, saying her credibility is on the line, and she indicated she herself had been misled.
We had had continuing discussions over the week of April the 12th as to whether what the nature of the gas was, whether it was incendiary, and whether the devices were. I did not want those used. I asked for and received assurances that they were not incendiary.
As we reported last night, government officials say the devices were fired long before the deadly inferno. They insist it was David Koresh who started the fire. Each summer, millions of us head to the amusement parks for a day of thrills and chills. We assume it's safe. But as we were reminded again this week, perhaps we shouldn't. And it turns out that in many places there are no laws requiring safety checks. Vince Gonzalez has a report.
A Bay Area roller coaster called the Boomerang threw riders for a loop yesterday, slamming to a halt and stranding them 70 feet in the air, where they hung for several hours in 100-degree heat.
I was scared to death. I thought I was going to die.
Park officials emphasized today there were no injuries and their rides are safe.
Theme parks are far safer than driving your car to the parks, safer than playing on playground equipment, safer than your own bathtub.
It's been a bad week for amusement parks. At Paramount's Great American Park near Santa Clara Sunday, a boy fell 200 feet to his death from a ride called the Drop Zone. His mother saw it happen.
I wanted to run in and catch him, and I couldn't. And I saw him fall to the ground to his death right in front of my eyes.
On Monday at Knott's Berry Farm, a big chunk of wood with nails snapped off the roller coaster and went flying, injuring 5 riders.
I will never go on another roller coaster again, but I'm sure it was just a freak thing.
Maybe a freak streak. Across the country Monday, a man was thrown from a roller coaster and killed at a Paramount Park in Virginia. In June, a teenager was killed when she was tossed off a ride at New York's Coney Island. Nationwide, 6 people have been killed in ride-related accidents this year, a higher number than usual. California has one of the worst accident rates and is one of only 10 states that don't require ride inspections. The legislature is moving to change that.
We're somewhat in the dark ages in the way we regulate our amusement parks. We do it for elevators and portable carnivals, but for theme parks and water parks, we don't.
Federal safety officials say amusement park fatalities are very rare, but the number of injuries have nearly doubled in the last 5 years, meaning rides designed to feel dangerous sometimes are. Vince Gonzalez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And on the CBS Market Watch, the Labor Department says that summertime unemployment for young Americans ages 16 to 24 is the lowest in 30 years, 10.1% in July. After 100 years, one of the most recognized product labels around is getting a makeover. This is the new Campbell soup can. On Wall Street, stock prices fell today on profit-taking. The Dow closed down 127 points. NASDAQ was off 30. And just ahead on the CBS Evening News, Russia's latest financial scandal. Where did that money go?
I just bought every overnight laxative I could find.
Why?
To prove nothing's gentler than Phillips Milk of Magnesia. X-Lax, Senecot, every one of these others contains stimulants. That one says on the label it may cause abdominal discomfort, faintness, and cramps. Phillips is the only one that's stimulant-free. Nothing's more effective, nothing's safer. Does that explain everything?
Yeah, except who's taking these back?
Phillips, safe, effective relief without harsh stimulants.
Is your asthma really under control?
Yeah, but sometimes I wheeze.
Ever wake up short of breath?
I do.
Use your fast-acting inhaler more than twice a week.
I use mine every day.
If that's what you call control, ask your doctor if prescription Flovent is right for you. Flovent twice a day helps control the inflammation that can cause asthma symptoms in the first place and helps improve lung function. Flovent won't replace fast-acting inhalers for sudden attacks. People switching from an oral steroid like prednisone to Flovent, an inhaled steroid, need to be especially careful. While adjusting to the switch, your body is not as able to heal after surgery, infection, or serious injury. See your doctor if your asthma does not improve.
Now this is control.
Flovent, helping you to find asthma control.
Mom, the dog! It's just lying on the bun.
That dog needs a new trick.
Beat the cold bun blues with Pillsbury Crescent Dogs. Just wrap them and bake them.
Aren't these dogs fun?
Good dog.
Used to be. If I want something done right, I called me. It worked. Until I tried to quit smoking. I needed more than me. I got Nicorette. Nicorette helped me two ways. I used it on a regular schedule to help prevent my cravings, and for unexpected cravings, I was ready with an extra piece. I used to be a slave to cigarettes. Nicorette helped me hang on, helped me win. Now that I'm nicotine-free, I gotta tell you, it feels good to win.
Now Nicorette is available in mint. What a refreshing choice. You can do it. Nicorette can help.
American peacekeepers in Kosovo ran into a new obstacle today. Angry Serbs blocked the main road through the U.S. sector, protesting the disappearance of two Serb men they say were kidnapped by ethnic Albanians. Russian troops helped negotiate an end to the protest, but not before U.S. troops arrested one man who threw a rock at a military vehicle. The Serbs say the NATO-led peacekeeping force is not protecting them against revenge attacks. Russia is promising an investigation tonight into new charges that billions of dollars in international aid wound up in the hands of Russian mobsters. The Kremlin also denied charges linking President Boris Yeltsin to a bribery scheme. Correspondent Mark Phillips reports.
First came the allegations that the Swiss firm lining the Kremlin walls with new gold leaf got the job by lining the pockets of Kremlin manager Pavel Borodin and those of Boris Yeltsin's daughters Lena and Tatiana with gold as well. Allegations all concerned deny. But today the government in Moscow announced an investigation into an even larger scandal that has further taken the gleam off the Russian image. A money laundering scam involving organized crime and a major U.S. bank. How does it work? Instead of Russian exports producing an influx of much-needed Western hard currency, the proceeds are often mixed with criminal profits from overseas prostitution rings and the like, and deposited in foreign accounts. The FBI has identified Russian crime boss Semyon Mogilevich as a prime player in this racket. The Bank of New York alone is alleged to have been used to launder as much as $15 billion. Some of that may have included development loan money from the International Monetary Fund, meant to prop up the Russian economy. Allegations of money laundering involving billions of dollars, accusations of kickbacks for construction projects in Moscow. Many of those who have worked inside Russia's new world of cowboy capitalism say the only surprise is why it's taken this long for scandals like these to break.
If you look under virtually any rock which has money around it, you're likely to find some corruption, some mismanagement, some capital flight.
Under the detached stewardship of Boris Yeltsin, Russian police have been unwilling or unable to take effective action, particularly as people like his former chief of staff, Anatoly Chabayas, not to mention his daughters, have been implicated. And until attitudes change, it seems some of the wealth of the new Russia will continue to go astray. Mark Phillips, CBS News, London.
And coming up on tonight's CBS Evening News next, not what you eat, but how much. New research on living longer.
Now you can save money anytime you make a phone call. Save on weekends, weekdays, holidays, mornings, evenings. Save on every single call. And you don't have to dial 1010 anything. You just have to call Office Depot.
Yeah, and I need a 3-hole paper punch. Yeah.
Call 1-888-GO-DEPOT for a free catalog. Office Depot. Low prices every day.
Don't wait one more day. Ask your doctor now about Flonase nasal spray or call 1-800-FLONASE. When your doctor writes your prescription for Flonase nasal spray, you'll be glad you took the time. Why wait? All you want is Flonase.
And
Klein Eyewear by Luxottica. What do you want people to see?
I want you to see fearlessness.
The unexpected.
I want you to see you don't need words to make a statement.
Ask for the latest Anne Klein styles by Luxottica.
50 is courageous, confident, beautiful. 50 is being who you are. To make sure being who you are stays beautiful, there's Pro Vital for skin that looks revitalized, resilient, remarkable. Just like you. Pro Vital from Olay. Proven to be why women over 50 look so wonderful.
What should you do if you're having a heart attack? First, call an ambulance, then take Bayer aspirin. Now Bayer may help stop you from dying when taken during a heart attack. Talk to your doctor now. Bayer, powerful pain relief, and so much more.
My pans used to get baked on mess, but now they sparkle. What's my secret? Boston Market.
For a limited time, you can get a quarter dark rotisserie chicken, 2 mouth-watering sides, cornbread, and a Coke for just $4.99. Boston Market. Dinner, it's done.
More than 36,000 women will be offered settlements from the makers of Norplant. American Home Products agreed today to settle claims from women who say the contraceptive implant caused nausea, headaches, or bleeding. The company won't say how much it will pay, but published reports put the price tag between $50 and $75 million. When it comes to eating, it is hard to know what to believe. One study emphasizes exercise over diet, another says just the opposite. Well, a report out tonight fuels the diet debate, suggesting you simply skip the second helping. Here's Elizabeth Caledon.
For the last 20 years, William Geary has eaten the same thing every day. Oatmeal and tea for breakfast, bananas and cottage cheese for lunch, a light dinner with very little meat. And since he just turned 100, he says he must be doing something right.
No question about it. I would say it does help. I was never a heavy eater. Banana?
Eating light may unlock the secret to longer life. New research in tomorrow's journal Science finds that cutting the calories mice eat in half keeps the genes that create energy active when they would normally be winding down in middle age. The finding intrigues gerontologists like Dr. Robert Butler, who says we've known for years that eating less is healthier, but we've never known how calorie intake affects certain genes responsible for aging.
The unique thing here is just the overall calorie level, the volume, the amount of food also can extend life.
Some nutritionists are skeptical and say aging and elderly people could be in danger of sacrificing crucial nutrients in an effort to reduce calories.
There are many factors which affect our longevity. Caloric intake is just one of them. Genetics is another factor. Our family history is a factor. Our physical fitness is a factor.
Still, according to experts on aging, the majority of people living long lives are thinner. So regardless of the other factors, cutting calories seems to play a big part. Just ask William Geary, whose doctor once told him he'd only live to be 90. Elizabeth Caledon, CBS News, New York.
2 United Airlines terminals at Chicago's O'Hare Airport had to be shut down today after a man ran past guards at a security checkpoint. He disappeared into the crowd, so everyone in the terminals or already on planes had to go through security again. Passengers on arriving flights were kept on their planes. After hours of delay, everything should be back to normal later tonight. Coming up next on the evening news, road rage in the congested California surf.
Nancy will have to see from near to far almost 1,000 times today. Her eyes will focus on 40 labels, 60 charts, and 100 smiles. And in all that time, she'll never once think about the science that allows her to focus instantly at all distances. Nancy just knows that her Verilux lenses help her see better. And for her, that's a very comforting thought. Verilux, the comfort of better vision. For more information, call toll-free 1-800-VERILUX.
Mom, the dog! It's just laying on the bun.
That dog needs a new trick.
Beat the cold bun blues with Pillsbury Crescent Dogs. Just wrap them and bake them.
Aren't these dogs fun?
Good dog.
There's nothing like the way I feel after a good night's sleep. That's why I love my Tylenol PM.
For me, there's just no reason to have trouble sleeping. I take Tylenol PM before bed. It stops my pain and helps me sleep. So I'm ready for another great day.
Hi, I have a question about buying stock. What's the difference between a market order and a limit order? Hello? Excuse me.
When you have an investment question, does your online brokerage have anybody there to answer it? We do.
Based on reactions so far, new banana strawberry Nutri-Grain twist bars seem to be creating quite a stir. Could be the banana, could be the strawberry, but we've got a hunch it's the unique way they're twisted together. That's why we did it. New banana strawberry Nutri-Grain twist bars. A twist you can't resist.
NASA today unveiled the first pictures from its Chandra X-ray telescope in orbit. They show the aftermath of a supernova, an exploding star in greater detail than ever seen before. Scientists say that Chandra is working perfectly. And finally tonight, everybody's gone surfing. Literally. That sounded like fun when the Beach Boys sang it long ago, but today, so many people are surfing, it's hard to catch a wave. Jerry Bowen reports on how a surfing safari has turned into a traffic snarl.
It's the water world version of road rage, overcrowding on those perfect waves off the California coast. And for years, the locals have been running off strangers.
This is our beach, and what the hell you think you guys are doing? I've never seen you out here, that kind of stuff.
Steve Fuller's mistake 3 years ago was catching a wave off a San Diego beach that a local surfer wanted.
Before I knew it, he reached over, grabbed me around the head, and put me in a headlock and started beating the crap out of me.
100 miles north on the Ventura County coast,
but he goes like this.
Victor, surfer Vic Dewar, says the locals are protecting their territory on and off the water.
You can get thrashed. Yeah, there are people out here that have nothing better to do but, go loco. And they will. I've seen a lot. I've seen people get socked in the face. I've seen cars get destroyed.
It is road rage. It's road rage to a large degree, but it is not based on an emotional issue. It's not frustration. It is actually hatred.
Longtime surfer dude Brian Bilbray, now U.S. Congressman Bilbray, says enough. The San Diego Republican is proposing a bill to make surfer attacks a federal hate crime, a felony.
Hate crimes are not something that just happen to somebody who's African American or somebody who's gay or somebody who's Jewish or whatever.
And that's only the beginning. There's a bill making its way to the California legislature that would classify the surfboard as a deadly weapon when it's used to attack another surfer.
And if his board flips up and see these fins, how sharp that is.
It's so bad that police in Palos Verdes are patrolling on jet skis and putting undercover cops out on surfboards to ride the waves and ride herd.
It just gives us an opportunity to monitor for intelligence purposes. If there's somebody there causing trouble, we can identify them and try and weed them out early on.
And back in Ventura,
it's getting pretty violent and pretty weird.
Surfer Vic Dewar is urging everyone, as best he can, to just calm down.
If you see some local people, let them do their thing. Don't bug them. Just go out to the side. Mind your own business.
In other words, take a deep breath and hang 10. Jerry Bowen, CBS News, Malibu.
That's the news. For Dan Rather, this is Bob Schieffer, CBS News in New York. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, CBS.com on the internet and on our interactive partner, America Online, at keyword CBS News.
Taking the stress out of school tomorrow on This Morning. Experience CBS News.
Coming up on News Channel 5 at 6, they received